to Ellamas Day 11, and honestly, within all these holiday releases, limited palettes, limited blah, limited and special you can easily be like, why the shit should I buy all of these? So I actually chose for this video 15 holiday releases of 2024. Half of this I have, and half of this I do not have. And for the ones that I did not buy, I just want to tell you why I didn't buy it and why you should probably not buy it too. And the other half, I just thought, let's just fun rank them and tell you, is it really worth getting really right on time for the holidays? Or is it something that might be around longer and you can totally get later on with a sale and discount? So we're starting off with the ones that I do not have, and the first one here is this Chanel holiday release that contains a mega eyeshadow slash blush palette, a couple lip products, and the highlighter. For me, the main focus thing in this collection was actually the highlighter. This is the highlighter from last year, Le Symbol, the Chanel, and this came with different imprints. I chose the Comet one, and this is the shade Pearl. The highlighter in this collection here is also a mega highlighter, and from just this picture here, I thought this is basically like this, but with the wet look, because Pearl here, it has glitter. Let's just say it as it is. There are tiny specks of glitter, but it's not as glittery, just to give you maybe a comparison, as the Diamond Bomb from Fenty. This is How Many Carats. This one is like straight up glitter. And this is like a more sophisticated grown-up version. The one here in this collection from this year, I wanted to be like a moon dust shade, you know, like this pure on water glistening effect. But what it really is, actually, it does not look like that. It has a very, very strong champagne base according to some of the swatches, and it's not even half as pretty. I know that a lot of people love the Mega palette, and the two pinky purple shades in there look amazing. That highlight shade on the upper right top, that is beautiful to upper right corner is beautiful too in the swatches, but I'm very, very thrown off by that orange in there. So the lip products I'm not very interested in. To me, as said, the main reason why I was initially interested in this collection was the highlighter, but I'm very happy that I didn't get it. Plus, it is marketed as super limited, but even this one, the mega highlight from last year, is still available on the Chanel website. Just saying. Next up, let's talk about the Huda Icy Nude collection. And this is like a half-half post because I have the palette and the blush that I will talk about later in the video. But there are also the blushes and the lip glosses. The blush filters, I have to admit, I haven't tried. I have no clue if they're good at all. I haven't tried other colors. I don't want to try this shit brown colors, and I'm already annoyed by the fact that they try to relive that bronzer. You know, remember Bare Minerals bronzer? Don't do this. It's just not happening. We don't want that. And when it comes to the glosses, I had a couple of these. I think I tried 3 shades of these glosses and they were fucking awful. They're thick as school glue. They just feel like that. They make strings when you speak. Ugh, they're goopy, they're gloopy, they're just disgusting. I completely skipped on the Suku collection. I was honestly very, very close buying this because a lot of people just rave about Suku makeup all the time. First of all, I just do not like this mixed pan design. I either want to have an eyeshadow palette or a face palette, but I don't want to have eye and face in one palette. I don't like that. But the thing just is, this is not really cohesive. Like, I just do not see an occasion where I would think of, ooh, let's take this palette for eye and face, because I would have to pull in so much more. While if we just compared with other iron face palettes like the Natasha Denona ones, where you have at least 2 face products in there, it just makes so much more sense. Yes, you still have to pull in something else depending on the look you want to do, but I think it's just much more covered than this. So I think at some point I will try Suku, but not with this, and you shouldn't too. So with the Guerlain one here, this is a bit of a cheat because I do have one thing out of that collection, and that's the lipstick case. I don't have the lipsticks, I just have the case. I chose another lipstick in this. Be careful with Guerlain, because a lot of the products in these Christmas collection, or in general in these special collections from Guerlain, are repackaged permanent products. So for example, the powder pearls are always around. They're nothing special. The lipstick shades, yes, they're new, but what will really catch you is the freaking case. And I know that I'm the clown here, but the case is just too beautiful. By the way, I choose a different lipstick color. I choose 11. This is a satin lipstick because I was told by my friend Danielle from Huda Beauty. She is a Guerlain expert, honestly. She told me that the matte lipsticks from Guerlain, they are very, very drying. And she compared them for me with the Lisa Eldridge velvet lipsticks. And she said they are drier than velvet. So this was a skip. I do like the velvets from Lisa Eldridge, but they're a tad bit like a borderline too dry. And if these are drier than that, no thank you. The eyeshadow palette, yes, I think this is not repackaged. I think this is a new version, but honestly, this is nothing, honestly, that you do not have already. So don't be fooled by pretty packaging is what I want to say. And don't buy 80 bucks lipsticks things. Then we have this Odin's Eye Christmas collection. I will not lie to you. I constantly sit here and be like, Odin's Eye shit, Odin's Eye is bullshit, Odin's Eye is this, Odin's Eye is that, don't buy Odin's Eye. And at the same time, when they had their Black Friday sale going on, I was peeking on the Odin's Eye black site, oh my god, on the Odin's Eye website. And I thought of getting the right palette, that Silvery Bliss, I think. Yes, Silvery Bliss. But I decided not to do this because that is the thing. Odin's Eye is really good, honestly, at designing eyeshadow palettes and color stories that when you just brush over it with your eyes, you'd be like, oh my god, that makes so much sense. Oh, that's so pretty. The greatest example for that is the Norns palette. That, the revamped one. I think the old one looked the same, but it had round pans. The revamped had these square pans with a cut of edges. When you just look over it very quick, you'd be like, oh my god, such a good palette. But when you then start to use it, all of a sudden it's like, it does not feel right. That just makes no fucking sense at all. And I think the same would have happened with the Silvery Bliss, because when I just look at it very quick, I see red, I see a bit of a dark pink, I see some black, some dark grayish colors, I see some nice shimmers. But when you take a very close look, all of these shades, they look so similar. Where is the like variety in there? And honestly, it just from now investigating the reds here in the Silvery Bliss, I have a feeling that these reds will turn super pink because of the light shades that are added in there. The palette will not make sense. And if you really want to invest in a good red eyeshadow palette for Christmas maybe, there are so many more that you could do. But the thing just is that with the design of the palette, even with the background here of the palette itself, it just looks very cohesive. But when you investigate these colors one by one, you will be very disappointed. And that is just the experience that I had with Odin's Eye for the past 2 years. They just are not able to come back to the excitement that we had with the Christmas palettes of 2022. These were just perfection. Then, and I tried to make this short, but I think this is also part of this video, should be part, although this is the newest one of them, the Cosmic Brushes release. I just, again, I think it was just last week that I went back to the Cosmic Brushes website and I was like, oh, do I buy this? I want to buy this. I put it in my cart. And then I stopped. I didn't do it because the palette makes kind of sense, but I'm just so thrown off by that row of purple. So I don't think that when you have a slightly bigger collection, and by bigger collection, I mean you have more than 10 eyeshadow palettes and you are able to cover 90% of the basic color wheel with your eyeshadow palettes, then this palette will not give you anything to your collection because chances are high you have purples, you have greens, you have warm browns and reddish colors. And honestly, purple is, in my opinion, next to mauve, the entry color to colorful eyeshadows, because purple eyeshadow is on that line between colorful and neutral. You do not have to have this in a Cosmic Brushes palette. I don't know why this is thrown in there. It takes away so much joy of the palette, in my opinion, because without that purple, it would be a very, very nice Christmas color, and it would come close to the feeling and the joy and the whole like the experience of Christmas makeup to the Merry Christmas palette from Odin's Eye. But with that row of purple, it kind of destroyed it for me. And last but not least, we have the yearly holiday collection of Cle de Peau. First of all, Cle de Peau, as you can tell, is very, very good in making outer packaging. But that's it. I really don't want to lie to you and tell you that this is ugly makeup. It freaking isn't. But it is just the packaging. Look at the eyeshadow quad. Even the pan design is beautiful, the eyeshadow pan design. But once you swirl it all together, it's gone. The quad is probably €100, if not more. Each of these face luminizers here is $100, even 105. This is Aura from the year prior. It's from the 2023 holiday collection. And yes, it is a very beautiful shade, but it's nothing special. I also have some of the older shades and they're just as beautiful, but the packaging, of course, is very, very much different. And Cle de Peau is just a pro in getting you with their packaging, but honestly, it's not worth spending that much money on this makeup. I do like Cle de Peau in general. I think they make awesome makeup. Their foundations are really good. The powder, the translucent baked powder, oh, this is so, so good. But they basically take very, very basic makeup, put them into special pictured packaging, and then they want to have $10 more. So it's a waste of money at this point. So let's move now on to special holiday and or Christmas releases that I actually bought and why I bought them. And my recommendation, should you not. Maybe call this even a mini ranking. I wouldn't say that this is a full-on ranking because some of these are eyeshadow palettes and they will be ranked this month too. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. I think I mumbled a lot. I wanted to say make sure to subscribe so you do not miss that. But let's start with the two products of holiday makeup that I, as I'm filming this video here, haven't used yet, but I have planned to use these. First of all is the Bobbi Brown Dream Gleam eyeshadow palette. This was part of a very huge Bobbi Brown holiday collection that had also a highlighter in there, then shadow sticks, and I think there was even like 2 more quads or something like that. I lost completely track. First of all, I want to say that this palette feels incredibly cheap. This was over $70 and this was the pure definition of an impulse purchase because I just wanted to buy something for the sake of buying, and it was then this at the end. I haven't used it yet, as I said. I'm planning to use this. I think when you see the video, that is the day that I use it. I think it is the day today that I use this. I do like the concept of this palette. That's why I was keen to this, but I do not like the fact that these four shimmers here in the center are just not the baked shades. And again, I don't know why I bought this. So I will see how this will perform, but I doubt, honestly, that this is somewhat close to the baked Bobbi Brown shades that I really love. The other holiday collection that I haven't used, and it is technically not a holiday collection, but it's a release in that holiday time, is the Gloss Gods collection, the Molten Metals one. I spoke about this last week in the You Don't Need That Shit that I actually got this. And it's here now. We have two pigments, Hoarfrost and Starlight, and then the Molten Metals palette. And honestly, just from looking at this, I get very, very excited. Not so much for the mattes, I couldn't care less. But these shimmers look so delicious. Should I swatch them? You know what? Let me get a makeup wipe and we will swatch them today. As said, I planned the usage at this point, but I haven't used it yet when you see the video. But maybe this week. The shades that I'm actually the most excited about are Platinum, Brass, and Copper. Bronze and Steel, yes, nice, but Platinum, Bronze, and Copper. Platinum, Brass, and Copper are it. Okay, very, very soft and squishy. This is more velvety, and Platinum somewhat in between. When I talked about these in the You Don't Need That Shit, by the way, I haven't watched, looked on my fingers. When I talked about these in the You Don't Need That Shit, I said I'm expecting a different formulation than the regular line because the palette is actually more expensive than the regular 15 pans, and this is only 10 pans. And basically just 5 shimmers, because the regular Gloss God 12 pan palettes, they have like 12 shimmers in them, like 12 multi-chromes. So is this worth it? Tell me. You have to tell me because I'm blind. I can't even see in the viewfinder what I'm doing, so I have to. I was not expecting this. Let's see how they swatch. So, Platinum, Brass. Okay, that is kind of textured, but maybe I picked up a bit too much. But look at how much this is going. And the Copper shade. Also a bit textured, but it could be me that I just I picked up too much pigment. I pressed too hard in there, but look at how this is. I plan to feature this in one of the New Year's Eve looks that you will see this month too. Maybe I now have to do 2 New Year's Eve looks with this. By the swatches, I can already tell you that this feels different than the other Gloss Gods formulation that I have, and now I have to try to remove this without covering everything here in glitter. If you are familiar with the Gloss Gods formula, these are in some cases very typical indie. That means they have a bit too much of the binding component, so it makes them kind of squishy. But they're not as bad as some of those I singles. They are like the top level of too squishy, of too much oil. These here in the Molten Metals, they feel like crushed pigments, pressed, with a binding component that is different to what I know from Gloss Gods. So I haven't used it yet, but now I'm very excited, and I honestly also want to swatch the pigments. I haven't even opened this because I'm just too afraid that I will cover everything here in pigment. By the way, I'm not able to open this. Ah, okay, now. So there is a protection seal. So you see it's still unused. But let's peek just inside now that we're here. I will so not risk it and show you the inside here of the pot. So here is a video of the inside of the pot and how that protection seal looks like. I will just put it back on. honestly, that looks good. That looks messy. I just see myself messing around. This is, by the way, the shade Starlight, but I'm also excited. So maybe the way to use these is to just pick it up from the protection seal all the time for easier use. What I do want to say though, when it comes to value, I'm a bit shocked of how less product is in here. How less? No, how little product is in here. See, I'm learning. It's only 1 gram. I know it is, who uses 1 gram of these pigments, but just to compare it with you, these Danessa Myricks Chrome Flakes, yes, they're not pigments technically, they're chrome flakes, but these are 4 grams of product. You will not need a lot of these, but I just want to say that I was a bit disappointed in the amount, but the Molten Metals collection, I'm very excited to try. The Bobbi Brown Dream Gleam. My God, this is the third video, by the way, that I'm filming today. Not so much. Let's begin just with the most anticipated holiday launch every year, and that is the Hourglass face palettes. I this year went with the Evil Eye palette, and this is what it looks inside. I have a review on these. I have a swatching, comparison, everything. I will link it down below if my edit me doesn't forget it. But I just last week decluttered 3 of the face palettes of the older ones because I just realized how much it does not fit me compared to this. Not every single shade in here is perfect. I do not want to lie to you, because this is a blush Oasis Glow. It's just not my type of blush. The highlight up here, Rose Gold Strobe Light, I can only use with a darker blush because otherwise it will be like a stripe of color on my face. But what makes this so special is the composition of them all. So if I use this palette, I use everything in this palette. This is not a face palette like, for example, a, what is a mixed face palette that just comes to my mind? Like an Adapt Cosmetics Amy's Love palette. I can totally get along only using a blush from this palette or using only a highlight. I do not have to combine the blush with the highlight. When I use this, I use the full shebang because this works. Is this something where I say immediately run and buy this? No. I have to admit that I sadly think that the Hourglass Holiday Face Palettes, they reached a point now in the makeup world where I say they are so dupable, they are so interchangeable, there is no need to run out and buy them. Honestly. And at this point, I think we have so many of these from Hourglass. They have so many mid-year face palettes that they come out with. The most special thing about these is the outer design. That is what people are collecting at this point. And for me, while I like the inside of the palette, while I do like the shades in here, and honestly the bronzer, let me show you, it's this one here, Natural Bronze, is the first in an Hourglass palette where I have nothing to complain about once it's applied. I honestly think that these are not worth it. Then we have the yearly Beauty Bay limited edition palette that comes out in the fall time, and the next limited edition is usually then just later on around Valentine's Day. So I call this a holiday one. And this year we have the Celestial Charms collection. We have the Celestial Charms 20 color eyeshadow palette that is this beautiful dark vampy purple richness in an eyeshadow palette. And for the very first time we got this year an all shimmer palette. This is the Mini Charms palette with beautiful iridescent translucent shades. And I think you already sense it. What I want to say is run and get this. I hate the term run, but you know what I mean. This is something where I with just confidence can tell you these are worth the money. And they don't even cost a lot. I mean, Beauty Bay is a very, very affordable brand. I just wish that we would get something like the Metamorphic again. I know I will never stop talking about this, but this collection really, really is top notch. This is just more inspired by the sky and by not so much by Christmas lights or anything. It's just the darkness, but also the iridescent loveliness about this. I do have a full review on these, and I will link it down below. I think I have on nearly everything a review, so if I remember to link it, I will link it. Also, a very anticipated launch each year, and this year actually this was annoying, if I'm being honest, because it's marketed as the last palette of the brand, the last big palette, and I think you already got it. Talking about the Huda Beauty Icy Nude collection. I just bought this palette because I had a 20% off coupon at Sephora that I needed to use, otherwise it would have been gone, because with the Sephora point system we have in Germany, you sometimes get these vouchers and they just have a limitation date, so I had to use it and there was nothing else that I actually wanted, so I thought, okay, let's buy this with 20% off, and so I paid like 57, 58 euro, which is fine. And here it is. I do not have a review on this. I used this only for a get ready with me, and then I used it a couple times off camera, and I made a post about this where I just talked a bit about these things here. I have a problem with this palette. I'm honest with you. I just have such a big problem with this because the mattes in here are delicious. They're really good. They are really, 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 really good. I want to praise them. I want to say thank you, Huda, for these mattes. They are fucking amazing. The shimmers is my problem because the shade Bling is a pressed glitter. The shade Diamond Dew, VVS, Aurora, and Platinum, Gold Standard not so much, yeah, and Platinum, are flaky indie shades. They're like flaky, goopy, they're weird, they're breaking up, they're like crackling nail polish, they're just weird. The shade Iced Out though, that's very pretty. It's also a bit flaky, but very pretty. So, it's like 80% of this palette are performing nice, if not superior, because of the mattes. But the other 20% are shit. And these 20%, honestly, are what makes the palette the palette. It's the shimmers, it's the bling, it's the just the shininess of like a holiday palette. And with an icy collection like this, I expected more. If I compared quality-wise with the Pretty Grunge from last year, which is the only other Huda big palette that I have at this point, I think the Pretty Grunge was quality-wise better. So, should you get the Icy Nude? Absolutely not. While this here, the face gloss, I just refuse to buy pH adjusting makeup, but I was curious. This I just bought with full on my mind. I was fully awake. I cannot say, oh, I was sleep drunk. Oh, I had a coupon. I didn't. I just bought it of a whim. This, chef's kiss. Sadly, I bought this after I filmed my blush ranking for this year, so this will not be included. But to be honest, if I had bought this way before the blush ranking, and I had like a good 2 weeks to test this out and wear it every single day, because this is what happened. When I got this, I wore this for a good 2 weeks every single day. This would have been number one. I just checked back with my list. I checked back with my blush drawer here. Yes. I really regret that I did not get this before the ranking, because this would have won. This is so good. I absolutely love this. Is it the pH adjusting in there? Is it really my personal best color? I don't think so. It is the effect that it gives. It is this flush of color. It is the vibe that I get. Because when I apply this on my face, there is at first nothing, and then I blend, 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 and then it comes to life. And what I see is the color of my face that it would get when I'm out in the cold, out in the winter, like minus 15 degrees. And then I come inside and it's warm. And then you flush red. This color here is exactly what my face would look like. Is it really the pH adjusting to something very unique? I really do not think so. I adore this formulation, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really regret that I tested this so late. So, when it comes to the Icy Nude collection, honestly, skip the palette, much rather buy 2 of these. And now we have only 2 holiday collections left, and both of these are collection where I say, yes, you should get them. But one is one you can wait on because you do not have to buy it right now since it will be around for longer and you can definitely grab it on a sale. While the other collection is sadly really strictly limited, and I will show you. So first of all, the collection or the item that you can definitely wait on picking up. You do not have to pick up full price. It's the Nomad Cosmetics Polar Express palette. Oh, this is so beautiful. Oh, this is so, so pretty. This is such a cozy, nice eyeshadow palette with just the mix of cool blues in here. That is just amazing. I have a video review, link it down below. And the other collection is by Charlotte Tilbury. Oh, I know. Let's just start with the Pop Shots, because this is an eyeshadow formula that I refused to buy last year when they first got released, because it was like, no way are these worth 30 bucks. No fucking way. But they are. So I have here Cosmic Rocks. This is a purple. And the formulation of these is just pure velvet. It feels like satin or like chiffon. It is insane. I mean, look at Cosmic Rocks. I think Cosmic Rocks is a re-release from last year. I think that was already there. But she also came out with new shades. One here, let me just open this. This is Pillow Talk Ultraviolet. It is purely what it says. It's an ultraviolet eyeshadow color. And what I very recently just realized, let me grab that, not only do I have an ultraviolet eyeshadow color, I have a matching gloss. This is the Isamaya Ultraviolet Lip Gloss. I don't even know if you can tell, but this would work full on for a monochromatic ultraviolet look. I think I have even a highlighter that matches this vibe, and oh, they're so, so pretty. And the other new shade is, I'm not sure, is it really new? This is Diamonds. This feels a bit more rough, but by no means this is less good in quality. These Pop Shots are absolutely worth it. And honestly, I wish that Charlotte Tilbury would bring these formulations into her eyeshadow palettes. Pop Shots were, at least last year, very, very limited. Once they were gone, and they just got re-released for this season, which I think is a shame, because this is truly nothing that should be so limited. The palette, though, I kind of understand because it's a collection item and a collector's item. And this year we had the Pillow Talk Beautyverse Love palette. I have a dedicated video about this palette because I was very, very lucky that this year I got my hands on this like 2 months before it got released officially. And honestly, I haven't done my ranking yet for the palettes that I tried in 2024, or in general the top 10. this will be very high up because this is so good. This is so not to compare with Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow in the quads or in the older 12 pan palettes even. The mattes are so much more creamy. These shimmers here, they are a bit like the Pop Shots, but I think the Pop Shots are just a tad bit better. This, sadly, as said, is very limited. So the palette for me is definitely an item that you should get when it's there, because I personally would have regretted that. And I'm very, very happy that I have the Beautyverse from last year and from this year. And while I actually gave a bit of critique last year that she changed from 12 pen to the square 9 pen palette, I kind of wish that in 2025 we will get one of these again. And I just realized that I completely ignored another holiday collection that was very anticipated, and that was the Pat McGrath one. I truly miss the times when the Pat McGrath holiday collection were just one big mega mothership with the 18 pans. They were divine. Then she started adding the quints. Okay, I was fine with that. And this year we do have 2 duos, 3 quints, and a mega mothership, but with only 15 instead of 18 pans. So I do have the mega mothership, I do have 1 quint and 1 of the duos. The duo that I have here is the Astral Noir duo, and to be honest, don't buy this. It's not that good. The quint that I have is the Starfall Seduction one, and also in the comments when I did the video about the collection, you were also saying that your favorite look is the one that I did with this, and I have to agree, just this is truly special, and the main reason for this being so special is the shade here in the center, Violet Supernova. This is just perfection. The Lunar Luxury Mega Mothership is, first of all, is heavy criticized. And yes, I fully agree on the critique, because why do we have just only 15 pans by the same price? Why do you not give us 18 pans? And I do want to say though that a lot of these shades in that whole collection, by the way, are repeats from older collection. I do like this eyeshadow palette more than I thought. This is just very, very honest here. I would have not thought that this is giving me so much life. I think this is actually very good designed. And by the way, did I just call this the Lunar Luxury Mega? No, it's Luminous Legends. I'm not sure what I just said. But if I said it wrong, it was Luminous Legends, what I meant. I think it's a good quality, and that's mainly by the fact that this is made in Italy. But if we now just look at the items here in the collection, honestly, nothing in this collection is something that you should buy. It is just not the same Pat McGrath vibe anymore, but if you are maybe a collector and you want to buy just one thing of this collection, to me, it would be the Starfall Seduction Quint. I know that there are many, many more like holiday collections, but I just chose these because these were the most interesting to me. I do not think that I forget anything major. If so, you can ask me in the comments about that, what I think, and I will tell you. But now I'm very curious. What holiday collection do you think is easy skippable, and what holiday collection is for you major, like this is a must-have for you? Let me and all the others know down below. Thank you so much for joining. If you are bored, if you want to watch the other Ellamas videos, there is a playlist down below. Make sure to check that out. Please also make sure to subscribe so you do not miss any of the other Ellamas videos that are still coming, and I really hope I see you tomorrow with a very special video.